In the next free Instagram Reels, I'm going to be covering the free basics of controlling exposure in your camera so that you can use manual mode. This is what we call the exposure triangle, and it's basically the Illuminati of controlling your camera. Anyway, let's start with aperture. Inside of your lens, there are physical blades that can open or close, allowing more or less light in. This is what we call your aperture. It's basically like the pupil in your freaking eye, except your camera only has one. Well, depending on what camera you have. So on your camera, there's a little number that's always preceded with an F, F6, or F22. That is your aperture. The most confusing part about aperture is the following. The larger the number, the smaller the opening of the aperture. So f22 is a really closed down aperture, and f6 is a really opened up aperture. That's what you're going to want to use if you're in a darker situation. Aperture also affects depth of field, which basically is like whether there's background blur or not, but that's for a different video. We're talking about exposure right now. Be sure to follow for part 2, where we're going to be talking about shutter speed.